What's up, everybody, and you're very welcome along to Sunday Night Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig, and this is the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. You are all very welcome along. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. The Reds are in action tomorrow night in London against West Ham. I cannot wait to watch them again. The weekends are always that bit tougher, aren't they, when Liverpool aren't playing till the Monday, but time is up. We'll be playing tomorrow night. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it. We'll go through team selection, we'll go through predictions, we'll go through the other results in the weekend. There's lots for us to go through tonight, guys. I can see the chat is full already, which is always a pleasure. Let's see who we got in tonight. Dirty Girl, October, The Serpent Line, Scotty, Swifty, Allen, Kyle Martin, Gary, Recessionizer, LFC Firmino, Tom Bolan, Paul Turner, Mick Swiggs. Lots and lots of wonderful people. Guys, how are you? Anthony Cronin is in. Thank you so much for those kind words, mate. Guys, where do we start? Where do you want to start tonight? I've got my agenda, but it's your show. You let me know what you want to talk about. To everyone who questions us, it's not trophies on Monday to roast rival fans. It's the joy of transition from hopelessness to belief, the pride in seeing young boys become world-class talent, and for the cold night to be celebrating the Europa League semi-final. It's for the days when you play badly in a 4-0 as legends for a 1-0. I love nights I turn my TV off of happiness. I'm just reading out Will's first comment there. Sorry, I was mesmerised. Will, love it, mate, love it. How the hell are all you wonderful people? I hope you've had a fantastic weekend. I know I said that at the start, but I really mean it. Origi said, and I did see this earlier on, that Salah's plane was found, which, you know, is I don't want to say it's a good thing, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. I only hope and pray that they find the bodies. I know it's horrible to say the word bodies. I think you know what I'm trying to say. I think the closure of being able to have a burial for their loved ones would be helpful in this situation. And look, it's so sad. I don't want to go back over it again, but it is so sad, and there's nothing we can say that will make it any better. But it is good that the plane has been found, and fingers crossed they find the pilot and Salah as well, for their family's sakes. And on that one, guys, look, we'll push on. And we'll catch up with it more as more news progresses over time. It's kind of breaking news at the minute, or it's very recent news. So, look, we'll push on. Craig, fuck City, fuck Spurs, and up the motherfucking Reds. There you go. See, that's more like it, mate. That's where we want to go with it. Let's have a bit of fun tonight, guys. The Reds are in action tomorrow. And for those of you wondering, we will, of course, be having a watch-along of the game. And we'll be starting about 30 minutes before kick-off. So, God, what is it? Is it 8:15 game tomorrow? Or 8:45? Or is it an 8 o'clock? They're usually 8 o'clocks, aren't they? Anyway, if it's an 8 o'clock game, 7:30. If it's a 7:45 game, 7:15. But either way, we'll be here for the watch along tomorrow. I hope you can join us for that one. As you can see from our subscriber count, we are marching along towards 8,000 wonderful subscribers. So if you're watching, guys, and you have a moment, you haven't subscribed to the channel, really would appreciate it if you could hit that button. And of course, drop a like on the L stream. Right, Fabinho has to play tomorrow. It said Danny. Is it Danny? I'm trying to. It's DANNYH. Mr. 9541. Fabinho has to play tomorrow. I think he'll relish playing against West Ham with his physical presence. Yes, and more yes, my friend. I absolutely agree with that comment. Look, we will talk about the game. So look, let's start with. This is going to be a full-on preview, by the way, tonight. This is going to be a full-on preview of the game tomorrow. We'll talk about the danger men. We'll talk about the team selection, predictions, all that kind of stuff. You can see that I put out my predicted 11. It's in the image beside me today. Those of you that aren't watching or that are just listening to this, I will go through it in a couple of minutes. I won't leave you high and dry. It's 8 PM, David. Thank you so much, my friend, and Heme as well. We need to book up tomorrow, said Tyler. Yes, mate, we do. We need to go out there tomorrow, all guns blazing. And I'm not worried, because if you think back to the game recently against Leicester, we came out of the blocks quick. The first 10 or 15 minutes there, I thought we were excellent. So I think we'll do it again tomorrow. I really do. Let's start with team selection. I think that seems as good a place as any to start. Now, we know Jurgen Klopp has certain avenues that aren't open to him. Dejan Lovren, hamstring, out. Joe Gomez, fracture, out. Trent Alexander-Arnold, getting close, but still not there. So what I've gone with for tomorrow's game, we've got James Milner coming back after a suspension, which is always a bonus. So the team that I've gone with tomorrow, guys, is Alisson Becker in goal. A right back of James Milner. Centre back pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Matip. Left side, of course, Andy Robertson. The central midfield trio for tomorrow, and my lineup has gone as a 4-3-3. Now, don't pay too much attention to that. It's more just about getting the 11 players in. How they play, where they play, I'll leave that up to the gaffer. I've gone for a midfield of Fabinho, Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum. I know a lot of people want Keita to play. I know a lot of people want Shaqiri to play. I've gone tried and tested, plus Fabinho. But look, we know how good Fabinho is. And then, of course, I've made no changes whatsoever to the front three. Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah. Again, don't get hung up on my formation. That could change any which way. For me, it's just about the 11 bodies that I'm expecting to see on the field tomorrow. I would, of course, love to know your thoughts on my 11. I'd love to know your 11. Prediction, as you can see, I've gone for a 3-0 win for Liverpool tomorrow. The 3-0 win, and I'm not expecting any drama. I'm expecting it to be fairly straightforward. Right, we'll get to Martin Atkinson. Oh, don't you fucking worry, we will get to Mr. Atkinson. I have a special little segment ready just for Mr. Atkinson. Graham Holmes said, "Hi Craig and Reds, think it's not a bad result for City today, not exactly what we wanted, but it'll show us tomorrow how much bottle and desire we have to go to get 5 clear." And we'll have a little talk about Manchester City and all that as well. That will come on down the line, don't worry guys, I'm not going to ignore the games today. At least Atkinson is consistent in not giving anyone penalties. Look, I so want to go into that now, but I will hang off Craig. The Super Bowl. I was going to do a stream. Called An Irish Idiot's Guide to the Super Bowl. And basically for people like me that haven't got a Scooby-Doo, what the fuck is going on? Understand the very basic rules of American football. I mean, I know that you have to cram an ad in every 30 seconds. I understand that that's American football 101. But I was going to do a stream, but then I just thought it's too much fucking work. It's too much work to basically show the world how much of an idiot I am when it comes to that. City look good. They're going to bottle it and draw points against Chelsea and Everton, said Niall. Again, we will get into Manchester City. I definitely want to get stuck into that in today's game. We should play a 4-3-3 against the smaller sides and a 4-2-3-1 against bigger sides, said LFC Firmino. Okay, what else we got? I can see West Ham scoring the first, but then we beat them 4-1. That'd do as well. I mean, I'd take a 4-1, Alex. Being nervous and feeling deflated sometimes is understandable during a title race, but to all those that moan and the doom and gloom merchants, shut the fuck up and sit down, said Imi LFC. And I agree. I very much agree, mate. There's no time for doom and gloom. There's no need for doom and gloom. We're top of the motherfucking league, ladies and gentlemen. There is no need for doom and gloom and no time for it whatsoever. Danny's gone for 5-1 to the Reds. Origi's team is Alisson, Robbo, Virgil, Matip, Fabinho, Milner, Henderson, Shaqiri, Mane, Salah, Firmino. I just don't like Shaqiri starting games, mate. Personally, I just don't think he's good enough when he plays a full 90 minutes. I've yet to see him put in a good, solid, full 90-minute shift. Claire said, "I'm with you, Craig, though I would prefer Keita to play, but don't want to lose Fabinho. I would have absolutely no issues at all with Naby Keita playing tomorrow." This is more what I think the gaffer might go with. Will has gone for 2-0 to the Reds tomorrow against West Ham. It is good that Arnautovic isn't playing for West Ham. I mean, we'll go through the danger men in a couple of minutes because I have a little bit on those as well, but it is a bonus that he's not there because he could be a real handful when he's on his day. Craig, your side parting is askew. It's alright. I'll leave it as it is, Jay, mate. It'll fix itself as the stream goes on. Need to start playing Keita more. Put faith in him and his confidence should improve and he'll play better, said Heno. West Ham 1, Liverpool 3. Front 3, 1 goal each for Recessionizer. And guys, I'm skipping through all the Manchester City comments, not because I want to ignore your comments, but because I will get to that a little bit later on in the stream. 3-0 to the Reds, said Chris Winders, and a clean sheet. I would love a clean sheet. I would love a clean sheet. How sweet would it be, and we've spoken about this before, if Alisson Becker wins the Golden Glove, Mo Salah wins the Golden Boot, Virgil van Dijk wins Player of the Season, and we win the league. I mean, that would be just tickety-boo par excellence. Connor said, what's askew? Surely you've heard of the fucking phrase askew, mate, when something's just a little bit off. Surely you've heard of that one. Come on, mate, you're embarrassing us. Craig, we got to go for the throat tomorrow. Fuck West Ham and their shite stadium. Stephen, you're very aggressive this weekend, pal. I'm liking it, but you're very aggressive. How is it in the Alamo at the minute, mate? Are they piping up ahead of the game against Manchester City on Wednesday? The team you got is a team that I got. That's the best team, said Chris Long. Thank you very much, pal. Glad we're thinking the same way. Craig, like your preferred 11, bit tired of Keita giving the ball away and not looking dangerous at all. I just think it's a confidence thing with Naby Keita. I really do. Is anybody else, this might sound a little bit odd, but does anybody else have the feeling that the away games might be a bit easier for this group than the home games? Because I don't think they're going to have that sense of anxiety that can sometimes be inside Anfield. So I think being away from home tomorrow is exactly what we need. And I'm expecting a performance from the guys because of that. Who's your most hated football team aside from United, Everton and Chelsea? Jesus, I mean, you've taken out 3 there. Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City. I hate them both equally because they're both fake clubs. Play Hendo at right back. It'll be Milner, mate. I mean, all signs point to it being James Milner tomorrow by the sounds of it. Danny said, right on that, you're right, Danny. So let's talk about the threats from West Ham. You've said Felipe Anderson's probably their main threat, which is absolutely spot on. In 24 games so far this season, Felipe Anderson scored 8 goals for West Ham in the Premier League and has 2 assists, which isn't bad for a player in his debut season. He seems to go through patches of scoring, which is what I've seen with Felipe Anderson, and we all know he's a very good footballer. I remember a lot of you guys talking about him before he signed for West Ham, saying he was somebody perhaps we should be looking at, and he settled into the Premier League very quickly, so credit where it's due. He's a very good player. Probably their danger man tomorrow, as I said, with Aronovich not playing. Another one that we have to keep an eye on, of course, is big old Andy Carroll. We know how big of a handful he is aerially if he's up for it. And what makes me think he might just be up for it is the fact he's playing against his former team, a team that he failed at, if we're being honest. I don't know why he failed, whether it was down to fitness, whether it was down to, I don't know. I don't know why he failed, but it didn't quite work out at Liverpool. And he's moved on, and he hasn't really blossomed since he's moved on. Yeah, but we know he's a handful aerially, so if they start getting balls out wide and pumping them into the box, we're going to need Van Dijk and Matip to be at their best aerially. PSG lost to Lyon. I've seen that one, mate. I actually put a tweet out. It was a great game of football, I have to say. Very, very enjoyable game. And it just goes to show you that Lyon can be 2 different teams. I've seen Lyon play and they've been so kind of hit and miss and not great. And then you see them like the game against Manchester City, the game against PSG tonight, and they're brilliant. Absolute joy to watch. Stuck in, playing at 100%, full of confidence. It's crazy, isn't it? It's just so nuts to see how that Lyon team have 2 different personalities. Well, my side parting, Connor. Sorry, he said my side parting was askew, so he was taking the piss out of me having no hair. You know what I mean? It's a little joke that always comes up with it, but I think it was Jay. Was it Jay? I think it was Jay. Right, what else have we got? I get the feeling the home game. They're feeling like the home game against Napoli tomorrow. Let's go. And hopefully no snow, said Got Cool. I actually have no idea what the weather is like in London at the minute. Absolutely no idea. Must win tomorrow. City closed the gap, so we need to put the pressure back on the empty head. I have a good feeling about tomorrow and I'll be wearing my lucky watch. Haven't lost with it on yet. Boom. There you go, Tom. Anyone that has anything lucky, always wear it. From now on to the end of the fucking season, you make sure you're wearing whatever it is that's lucky. If you've got a lucky dog, wear that lucky dog. If you've got a lucky cat, wear that lucky cat. Forza Jurgen's champions-elect. Liverpool at top of the league, said Sean Patino. David Davidson said, my guess will be 2-1 to us tomorrow. I don't think our attack is fully fledged at the moment. Need to have something more special for us to take the 4-0s and 4-1s. Yeah, but West Ham are pretty shit as well, mate, to be fair. If we score early against them, it's capitulation time, and I think we'll have an easy night. Do you think Henderson should hand the captain's armband to Milner or Salah? No, I don't. Jordan Henderson is the club captain. End of conversation. I don't mean that to sound to sound shitty, mate. I'm not having a go at you, but that is the way it is. Whilst Jordan Henderson is at the club, I fully expect him to be the club captain. Whether you rate Jordan Henderson or not, that's another conversation, but it shouldn't affect how the likes of Milner, Salah, Van Dijk play on the field anyway, because they're natural leaders. Craig, Klein got a strap on with Klopp when Trent got injured and Milner was played right back. I can understand it. Because Klein, he has said this time and time again, Nathaniel Klein is a very, very good fullback. We could have definitely done with him here, but the manager's made his decision. We stand by the manager, and that is where we are. Graham Holmes said 11 angry men we need tomorrow. See what you did there, Graham. A little play on 12 angry men. I hate Real Madrid, said Pedro. I mean, you're not alone there, Pedro. But a little bit off topic, buddy, but you're not alone. Every game I wear my Firmino shirt, he scores, said LFC for me. I mean, a lot of you people should be wearing these things more often, frankly. I'm glad the Premier League has VAR next season as the refs are horrible. Oh, Pedro, mate. I so agree with what you're saying. Yeah, and I will get to it. You guys know I have a love-hate. Well, it's not even love-hate. It's pretty much hate-hate with Premier League referees. And today's ones aren't even Liverpool games, and I still have a couple of things to put up on them. Leon has players that can go for bigger things and achieve things with other clubs, i.e. Nabil Fekir. Wink, wink. My birthday is the 12th of May. Said, is it Simwims? That's what I'm calling you. Simwims. Happy birthday on the 12th of May, mate. And fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Is Felipe Anderson injured? Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not going to claim to have infinite knowledge on West Ham. I had a little Google, a little search, couldn't see anything. Must win now or we lose the title? No, it's not true. It's not true at all. Why would you think that? If we go out and lose tomorrow, Morris, with all due respect, pal, we're still top of the fucking league. It's people like you that'll go into Anfield and have that negative feeling the second you go in. Oh shit, 15 minutes gone, it's still 0-0. Ooh, let's give Man City the title. I don't think that way, pal. Not at all. I think that we're going to march triumphantly to this Premier League crown, and it's not going to be as difficult as many people are making it out to be. I think we're going to increase our gap as the season goes on. Henderson is a great leader no matter his technical skill. As I said before about the captaincy at Liverpool or Manchester United or any major club, the captaincy involves a lot more than just being on the field and wearing an armband. You've got social stuff with the community. You've got stuff with sponsors. You've got media events. There's so much more being captain of a football club as big as Liverpool than just walking on the field and putting the armband on and feeling like Billy Big Bollocks. This channel has it all. Lucky rabbits, lucky shirts, lucky boxers. I mean, you don't miss out on that in here, will you, right? Rather have good refs than VAR. Here, Alex, mate. Here. I second that motion. Love Bobby. Still my favourite bonkers little Brazilian, said Claire. Yes, he is. He's my favourite little bonkers Brazilian as well. I absolutely love me a bit of Firmino. Do you think Timo Werner will transfer to Liverpool? I've got something for you on that one. Mr. Ralph Rangnick was talking again. And we know Ralph Rangnick likes to talk because we heard Ralph Rangnick never shut the fuck up when we were signing Naby Keita. So Ralph Rangnick has indeed been speaking about Leipzig and them trying to keep hold of talented centre forward Timo Werner. He said, we've gone to our financial limit with the offer for Timo. We know that he can earn more elsewhere, but he can also provide for himself for the rest of his life here. The financial aspect will not be the decisive factor, but rather the sporting perspective. We're trying to keep him here. He knows he's very popular in the team, with the coach and the fans. He's a top player, and he's become one of the most exciting Bundesliga strikers in the country. He still has 1.5 years left on his contract, and I hope that he'll stay, but in the end, it's up to him. Now, for me, that is Ralph Rangnick clutching at every straw that he could possibly clutch at. He's thrown in the whole, he'll get enough money here, he doesn't need to go elsewhere, he'll be able to live the rest of his life. Yes, Ralph, but he might want to win shit. He might want to go to a club where he's going to be challenging at the top levels in Europe. He might want to challenge himself in the biggest league in the world, in the Premier League. So I think Ralph Rangnick is absolutely laying on the guilt trip on Timo Werner and trying his best to try and persuade him to sign that new contract that we spoke about. And the new contract that we spoke about, for those of you who may not have heard, includes a buyout clause for Timo Werner of £61 million. Well, it's actually €70 million, but it equates to around £61 million for any club in the top 10, ranked in the top 10 in Europe. So basically, what he's trying to do is get him to sign a fucking contract so that somebody else will come in and buy him out of that contract, and they'll get a lot more money than they're going to get this summer. He can dress it up any way he wants. He knows Timo Werner is leaving. Whether he goes to Liverpool, whether he goes to Bayern Munich, or wherever the hell he goes. He knows he's leaving. And he's trying to guilt trip him into signing that contract to extend his stay at Leipzig and get them more money. he can say what he wants, but at the end of the day, for me, that's what it boils down to. And now, if I'm Timo Werner, with all due respect to Leipzig, and I'm sure he's very appreciative of his time there and the way he was treated, and I'm sure he feels right at home there, but he owes them fucking nothing. He's been there, he's done well for them, they've brought him through, they've paid his wages, but he's also given them European football. He's also fired them towards, you know, the Champions League places in the Bundesliga. So it's a two-way street, and I'm not being disrespectful to Leipzig, but I'm just sick of listening to Ralf Rangnick over the past couple of years. He loves to keep himself in the media. He loves talking about the players. Just shut up. Shut up, Mr. Rangnick. Now, what do you think? Timo Werner, guys. Is he going to join? Is he going to come in the summer? What's your thoughts? Right, let's get down to some more comments. If Felipe Anderson's injured, we've already won, said Origi. Fabianski was in great form last game. Is he expected to be fit? Again, I have to hold my hands up here and say I haven't really had much time to look into who's fit and unfit. I just know from seeing the news that they haven't got Arnautovic. And I was just looking up Felipe Anderson's record in the Premier League just so I knew how many goals he scored and assists he had. Just so I could try and make myself sound a little bit intelligent. On behalf of all my friends who support Schalke, October said, "Shut the fuck up, Ralf Rangnick. Try being realistic." In which sense, Lewis Line? In which sense am I trying to be realistic, mate? I'm going to give you a chance to come back here. I've no idea what you're talking about. We spoke about Salah's playing already, Rick. Don't want to go back over it because it's a touchy subject and one that I don't want to really dwell on too much. Yes, so for that one, we will move on. I think the team will perform better away as there'll be less pressure in the last two home games, taking its toll on the players, which I agree with. I mean, from the very start, you could feel it or you could sense it inside Anfield at the last game. Says he who wasn't inside Anfield, but you know what I mean. If we win tomorrow and Everton at least draw, then we can win our game and go 7 points clear. I'm not going to hold my breath for the blue shite doing anything against the Plastics on Wednesday. Personally, I'm somebody that believes we need to just concentrate on what we're doing. And if anybody else drops points, sound. That's really great and we'll enjoy it. But we got to concentrate on what we can control, and all Liverpool can control are the 14 Premier League games that Liverpool have remaining this season. So if Jurgen Klopp can get the boys firing and ready to go tomorrow, we knock another one off, hopefully, put 3 points in the bank, get that lead back to 5, pressure back on Manchester City then for Wednesday. Do a collab with Redmen TV. I've got no interest. With all due respect, Redmen TV are an excellent channel. I just have no interest. I like to do things on my own from a Liverpool perspective. Happy to do things with other fan channels from other clubs. But with regards to stuff like that, it's not really something that interests me. Because I like to say what I want to say. I like to have the freedom to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, about who I want to say it about. And being in control of your own channel gives you that one. I think Klopp has decided to play Keita for every game from now on. Fabinho, Gini and Keita is our best midfield. I'd probably agree with that, Neil. And I'm not knocking Jordan Henderson, but yeah, I would probably agree. Although Keita hasn't shown it yet, I would say yes, I'd agree with that one, pal. Gakul said, I think Timo will definitely come if we win the Premier League. Even if he doesn't, the potential candidates will be interested for sure. Mohamed's birthday is the same one as Chelsea legend Frank Lampard. There you go. It's always nice when you share a birthday with somebody. Okay, what else have we got? Kieran Aaron said, would prefer Lula Jovic but would be happy with Werner. And we were definitely linked to Jovic, the guy who's on loan at Eintracht Frankfurt. Is his parent club Benfica, or have I got that one completely wrong? I'm just trying to work off memory, but he's definitely somebody we've looked at, somebody the scouting team have gone and had a look at. And for anyone who doesn't know, he's currently playing at Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga and doing quite well there. Scoring very regularly indeed. The Revenite's in the house. How are you, sir? Good evening to you as well. What's up? How long have you been live? About 25 minutes. 25 minutes, I think, mate. Again, if you didn't get a notification, I apologise. It's something that's happening to people who are subscribed quite a bit, if I'm being honest, and it annoys us that you guys aren't getting notifications. We need to sign Eder Militao from Porto, give Gomez a break, and won't risk dropping points with Matip or Lovren. He is... I keep trying to remember which guy he is. I think he's the one that has a 42.5 million quid buyout clause, I think, if memory serves correct. We just need to focus on ourselves, said Kaku. If not, City, Spurs are just behind. The bidders will let City win. I was saying this the other day, Rob GTI. If they go 1 or 2-0 down, I'd nearly bet anything that they're going to start singing about helping Manchester City or something along those lines. They will definitely start singing about Liverpool if they're losing to City. I'd be almost sure of it. The empty head was nervy at 2-1. It's to be expected, said facility time. I'm still seeing a few little pockets of blue seats in and around that stadium, although it was much fuller than previous games. We're going to give West Ham a prolapse tomorrow. That's a nice one, prolapse, said Swifty Allen. Is it true? It's true they won't do us any favours. Everton? No, they won't. Where do I stand on macro evolution? I stand over with the people who haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about, mate. That's pretty much where I stand. How come City are playing midweek? They had to move the game because of, was it one of their cup games or something along those lines? They had to. Are they playing in the League Cup, the FA? There's something that they're playing in that they had to move this game for, and they wanted it moved further down the line, but the Premier League moved it forward, so they're playing on Wednesday. I'm not expecting nothing from Everton, knowing them they'll put the academy side out to face City, said Paul Turner. They're a shambles at the minute anyway, Everton. I mean, they're down in 9th, could have easily fallen down a little bit more. Yeah, their season's shocking. I don't care much about the Champions League this year, I just want the league, said Pedro. I'm with you on that, Pedro. You know, a Champions League run would be great, don't get me wrong, but it all boils down to one thing for me this year, and that is, much as you said, mate, the Premier League. Austin, I am tickety boo, buddy. How are you, Austin Agar? Thank you for joining us, pal. Hope the cat is playing for Everton against City. You'd probably take Richarlison's place, to be fair. Craig, do you share any birthdays with famous people? Not that I'm aware of. I've said before though, my birthday's a bit of a shitty one. It's September the 11th, so not really great. Apparently nobody went in for Militao in January because he had a high release clause, but in the summer it's only 45 million or something around those marks, said Louis. I think he'd been linked to Real Madrid, but look, you're always going to see players linked with everybody. Their agents will be linking them left, right and centre. It's whoever goes, pulls the trigger and actually puts the money down on the table. City in the FA, Carabao and Champions League, so very full calendar, said Pedro. They're playing on Wednesday because the League Cup final's on the 24th, the same day as United versus Liverpool. There you go. Thank you, John, for that one. Alberto Moreno has been linked to Sevilla and Villarreal for a big fat zero. Does the motherfucker need a lift to the airport? I mean, we can sort him out an Uber if he wants. I know, with all due respect, I've got nothing against Alberto Moreno. He hasn't been great for us. He's not good enough, but no ill feelings towards the gentleman whatsoever. Do you see Everton getting a result against City? No, Mohammed, I don't. I don't expect any. When I see City playing, I'm not expecting anybody to take points off them, because I'm not expecting to have to rely on Manchester City's demise for us to go and win the league. We're the ones with the lead. We're the ones with the hopefully again after tomorrow 5-point lead in the table. So if they drop points, brilliant. It's a bonus. I was thinking about this earlier on. Let's say we win tomorrow. Let's play that one out. So we beat West Ham. We've got a 5-point gap. I think it's probably fair to say, or not unreasonable to say, that Manchester City might drop 4 points in their last 13 games. Let's go with that one. Maybe a draw at United, maybe a draw somewhere else. Let's say they drop 4 points. That means Liverpool would be able, in theory, except, well, depending on what Spurs do as well, of course, but in theory, we'd be able to drop 8 points between now and the end of the season in the last 13 games and win the Premier League by 1 point. So think about it in that sense. Even if City only drop 4 points in the last 13 games, We can still afford to drop 8 if we win tomorrow and win the Premier League. Again, depending on how Spurs go on. James Maddison would have been the perfect Coutinho replacement. He was looked at, Alex. Memory serves correct. He picked up a knee injury for Norwich at the end of last year. And I believe we moved on after that. And Leicester went and pulled the trigger and signed him. And they've got themselves a very good player. I think James Maddison is a very talented footballer. The league needs to come home. It's been too long, said Brian Amissi. Bayern Munich's a win-win. If we win, great. If we lose, focus on the league, said O-Dog. Which it is. And they're not great at the minute, Bayern Munich. I mean, don't be under any misconceptions. They're not the Bayern Munich of old. They've got those players, but what are they now? 8? Something like that? 7, 8 points behind? 7, I think. Behind Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Manuel Neuer could have picked up an injury. He'll be picking the fucking ball out of the net, one way or the other. Whoop whoop. Getting far in the Champions League will attract better players. People expect us to go so far, so I think it'll benefit us. Of course, absolutely. Everything you've said there, LFC_5, makes perfect sense. It will attract players, it'll bring us in money, it'll bring more prestige towards the club. All of that I agree with, but I still don't give a fuck because I want the Premier League and that's all I'm focused on this year. But I agree with everything that you've said. I'm just so laser focused on Liverpool going for that Premier League title. Guys, we're only 150 subscribers away from hitting 8,000, so if you're watching, you can help us out, hit that subscribe button. I'm hoping we get there during the watch along tomorrow for the West Ham game. 8,000 will be a great target for us to hit. It'll mean we're 80% of the way towards our season's goal of 10,000 subscribers, and we still got, what, 1/3 of the season to go, so we're well on the way. I mean, parity would have been about 6,600 subscribers, so we're ahead of schedule. So if you're watching, you want to help us out, you like what you're seeing on the channel, remember everything on here is free. It's always going to be free no matter what. If we hit 1 million subscribers, it's still going to be free. No matter what happens on here, you guys are never going to have to pay for content on YouTube. Never. Even if you want us to do nudes. Something to think about there, people. Or something to throw up about. One or the other. I'll leave it up to you. If we add more players in the next transfer window, we can challenge for both the Premier League and the Champions League. Do you know, we can still technically do that this year, mate. I mean, I'm not suggesting we throw away the Champions League. The games against Bayern Munich are winnable. I mean, it's not going to be an easy tie, but it's winnable. If you're a Manchester United fan, by the way, you're looking at that Lyon performance tonight and you're thinking, that's exactly what you need to do. Get stuck into PSG and they'll bottle it. I've said this, that's the reason why I've said all along I don't think PSG are going to win the Champions League. They don't know how to play against teams that go up and put it up to them because they're so used to teams rolling over that when they come up against teams, yes, they can put up the odd decent performance like they did against us at home, but at the same time we weren't great there, and if we had showed up we probably could have got the draw. So yeah, I think United know what they have to do for that tie in the Champions League. It's going to be interesting. No Neymar. Interesting stuff. Guys, somebody gave me a suggestion during the week and I thought I'd run this by you, and it was one of you wonderful people that said this to us. If the league comes down to, let's say, the last 6-7 games, should we start doing watch-alongs of Manchester City games? What do you think? Originally I thought no, but somebody suggested it to me. I thought a little bit about it and I thought, well, one, it'd be fun as fuck. I mean, I'd enjoy doing it because it'd be a laugh, but interesting. I want to know what your thoughts are. We don't do watch-alongs of other clubs' games usually, but in a title race, getting down to the nitty-gritty, it might be a bit interesting. Certainly, if nothing else, it would attract a good bit of trolling. Craig, you share your birthday with my dad. There you go. There you go. Also, my auntie Claire has the same birthday, which is a bit strange. Would you play Camacho against the Hammers? No, Amric, I wouldn't. I would go with the team that I'd set out there. Bit of experience with James Milner. No, I wouldn't play him personally. Are you streaming the West Ham game tomorrow? We will be doing a watch along of the game, certainly. We don't show any match coverage because, you know, that's against the rules on here. And we try and do as much as we can on YouTube without getting booted off. So, yeah, we don't be showing any coverage, but of course we will be doing a watch along of the game. Fuck Spurs, bottle jobs, said Origi. There you go. Heat map in West Ham's box for 90 minutes tomorrow, said facility time. Recession Irish said West Ham was 4-4-2 against Wolves last time out and they lost 3-0. They played with Fabianski, Masuaka, Agbona, Diop, Zabaleta, Rice, Noble, Anderson, Snodgrass, Antonio and Arnautovic. So no Arnautovic this time, so what, you're probably going to get Chicharito or Andy Carroll. Craig, I'm heading to Liverpool on Saturday from Galway for my 40th birthday. Still no tickets, but still got to chance my arm. If I have to stand outside and listen, I will. Dave, I hope you get tickets, pal. I really do. How many are you going to be looking for, if you don't mind me asking? If it's just one, you probably have a very good chance, pal. But if anyone's watching here and they can help Dave out, I'm sure you can contact him or let me know and we'll try and contact him. But I hope you have a great trip, Dave. Fingers crossed you get a ticket, pal. Claire, you share your birthday with Dave Grohl. That's pretty damn cool. Is that Chav? It is indeed. Always a little drop of die. Chav on the go for the streams. Bayern is a slow team with Liverpool's pace. We should be able to counter them. Yes, exactly. I agree. You guys are on the money tonight. I'm agreeing with pretty much everything. Who would you want to see in the top of the league? I want Newcastle nearer to the top. Yes, I wouldn't argue with that one. Very fond of Newcastle. I'd like to stay in the Champions League at all costs because I fear if the league is our sole focus, it'd be too much pressure. I suppose I can understand your way of thinking, Craig. Pep's head is gone after the Newcastle game. The gap was 7 points. Now it's 2. I don't get that, Anthony. You've lost me. I thought I was waiting for an explanation on why his head's gone there. What else we got? I think we were lucky to qualify for the Champions League last season. I don't think we were. I think we just managed the season very well. We knew we had to concentrate in the Champions League because we were going far in it, and we managed to get the 4th place. I don't think we were lucky. I don't think you can ever be lucky in the league. The league, you finish up where you're supposed to finish up. There's 13 games to go. It's far too GI yet. I don't know what that means, Anto. There's 14 games to go, pal, by the way. We just got to worry about our own side and the rest look after itself. I'd rather get out of the Champions League and win the Premier League, said Louis Roberts. Are afraid that we play after City. I wouldn't worry about it, Mohammed, too much. I mean, we play after them, yes, but they still can't do jack shit if we keep winning. That's what I'd keep saying. They can put a bit of pressure on. There's no doubt in that getting the points on the board, it does help. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it's still down to us. It's in our hands. What I find frustrating is the fans in the stadium will be on fire for the Champions League games. Why not just keep that going for the league games, said Neil Anthony. It's, yeah, you want to kind of get a measured approach somewhere between not meeting the coach yet and welcoming them in, because that puts a bit too much pressure on, but yet still being vibrant and have the stadium bouncing. I think believe is the phrase that I'd use. The guys, the fans just have to believe. Even if it's 1-1 or 0-0 going into the 85th minute, just believe that this team are drilled. This team have got their heads right for that situation. They're expecting to be in that position at some points, and just back the guys to get it done. I feel like stirring a bit of shit today, but I also hate Burnley, said October. Yeah, they're a bit of a shithouse team, to be fair. And said, hey Craig, hope you had a good day. Just need to do our job tomorrow and worry about the rest later. Yeah, look, loads of people have mentioned the handball incident today, so let me just grab my notes up on the old fucking referees, because oh god, they annoy me so much, as you guys know. So today's referee watch, shall we call it that, seen Mike Dean miss Paul Pogba and I think it was Herrera, both being pulled back by Mendy of Leicester today, who was on the yellow. Both. 2 decisions right on the edge of the box. And I don't give a fuck about Manchester United winning. But I'm just trying to be fair and point out refereeing mistakes. Mendy, twice, he was already on a yellow. He pulled back Paul Pogba on the edge of the box. And I think it was Herrera, I could be wrong, on the right hand side of the box as well. This was in the space of maybe 10 minutes or so. And both he and the assistant referees missed it twice. Fucking twice. Then, that wasn't enough for Mike Dean, the shit show that is Mike Dean. He then let Matic away with what could have been a red card. Even the pundits, the biased pundits on Sky, seem to think that Matic went in high foot up. I'm not sure if you've seen the game, you've seen the incident. So Matic went in high foot up, caught the player, and what does Mike Dean do? He gives Manchester United a fucking free kick. Doesn't book the player, gives them a free kick. And again, one incident here was for United, one incident was against. I'm not talking about it from a team point of view. I'm only trying to concentrate on the shitty performances of the referees. Not who it benefits or who it affects. Just that the referees are fucking awful. Then, in the second game today, we've seen Martin I'm not fit to officiate Atkinson, who's already fucked up in the Liverpool game and not giving us a blatant penalty. A blatant penalty that we all know is coming. So what happens then? Goes back to the Premier League. The Premier League officials look at him and go, do you know what, Martin? You missed one there, son. You missed the penalty for Liverpool against Leicester. But you know what we're going to do, pal? We're going to give you the biggest game of the weekend, son. That's what we're going to do for you. So we've had a little meeting and we all decided that you fucked up. But we then thought, you know what? He's the man. He's the man for the Etihad. Send him to the Manchester City versus Arsenal game and let him do his thing. And surely enough, him and his fucking assistants missed a blatant handball from Sergio Aguero to score his hat-trick goal. When the game was 2-1, Aguero, with the left arm, into the goal. Atkinson goes, Sergio hat-trick, whoop whoop. Couldn't wait to give him the match ball. Doesn't matter that he handled it into the goal. Now, I've seen people on social media say to me, doesn't matter, Manchester City would have won that game anyway. Yes, probably. They most likely would have went on to win the game. But there's a massive difference in mentality between being 2-1 down and being 3-1 down. At 3-1, Arsenal gave up. You could see they were just playing at 60-70%. They were beaten. At 2-1, they're probably going to get beaten. I'm not saying it might have changed the game. Again, I'm just trying to point out that this shit show of a referee, Martin Atkinson, fucked up last week and gets rewarded with the biggest game of the weekend. Fucks up again. And what's going to happen to him? Will he get in trouble? Will he fuck? He'll be right back again, refereeing. The Premier League referees, ladies and gentlemen, they're a disgrace. They are an absolute disgrace. I'm not saying this from a point of view of us being robbed, because as I've said, I've spoken about United's game doesn't affect us. A decision for Leicester, a decision against Leicester. Manchester City game today, yes, that does influence our league campaign, but I still believe City would have won the game anyway, so no saltiness from that point of view. But again, the same referee, the same gobshite that missed a blatant penalty last week, gets away with another one and will be rewarded with another high profile game, no doubt, very soon. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. In a league where there's so much at stake, where there's so much money available, we should be getting the best of the best in the Premier League. They should be trawling around Europe trying to get the best referees possible. I don't give a shit if they're English. I don't give a shit if they're fucking Arabian, Lithuanian. I don't give a shit where they're from. The league needs the best. Go get the fucking best. That's all I'm saying. Bringing in VAR next year, yeah, it could help a little bit. But you've still got the same idiots running the system. You've still got the same people making these shitty, contentious decisions, being in charge of it. And there's going to be decisions where it's down to interpretation. And do you trust these guys to get it right? Because I don't. I really don't. It affects everybody. And yes, I fully believe this shit evens itself out over the course of a season. But at the same time, there's too much at stake for these either overweight, too old, too stupid. Well, no, stupid's not a fair way of saying it. Not good enough at the decision making. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry. It just isn't. Your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Your thoughts will be very much appreciated on this subject, because I could scream blue murder about this for hours. I've been speaking about referees since I started podcasting. Like, it's a long time. I'm talking about Premier League referees not being good enough. And it's so easy for it to sound like I'm being a salty Liverpool fan here. But as I said, you can look back and listen. I talk about this shit when it doesn't affect us. I talk about this stuff when we win games 3 and 4-0. It's absolutely disgusting. They're shite. Mike Dean, shite. Martin Atkinson, shite. John Moss, shite. Kevin Friend, shite. Michael Oliver, not too bad in fairness. Not bad at all, actually, Michael Oliver. Decent referee. It's just not good enough. And that other lad that's coming up from the Championship now, that fucking... what's your man? The cousin or nephew or brother or whoever it was of that other gobshite there, Madley. The two Madley lads. One of them's fucked off because he was awful. And the other one's coming up and he's shite as well. I mean, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Atkinson is crap. That goal ended the game, said Pedro, which it did. It did, absolutely. And nobody knows what would have happened to 2-1. The probability is City would have gone on and won the game, most likely. But City went 1-0 up and Arsenal equalised. At 2-1 up, anything could have happened. He also missed a player that stood at the opposition on the side of the tie. Somebody said something about a penalty incident as well in that game today. Now, I probably missed that because I didn't watch it all. I got too fucking angry after the Atkinson decision. Craig grow a mohawk. I'm growing one when we win the league. Our refs are shit. They only... Well, I won't say they fixed illegally. I think that's a little bit too harsh to say. Sad but true. The FA is corrupt, said AS Empire. The refs are worse than effing wankers, said Claire Dean. Ben, don't worry about it, pal. Don't worry about being late on, mate. It's great to have you here. Yeah, Bobby Madley, state of him. The state of him. I think Arsenal are the weakest top 6 team in the league. That's a fair shout. I think they're absolute. I mean, I look at that club and I just think of Mesut Ozil just sitting there breaking his bollocks laughing. He held them lads over a barrel, stole all their pocket money, and he just sits there just throwing £50 notes in the air laughing at them. No wonder there were no English refs at the World Cup. Claire, the FA will tell you that there was supposed to be an English ref at the World Cup. Mark, what's his fucking name again? You know the guy I'm talking about, the Ed Sheeran fan. He was supposed to be the representative at the World Cup, but apparently he went off and decided he was going to referee somewhere, was it Dubai, the UAE, somewhere like that. So that left them high and dry apparently. That's their excuse for it. But the truth is there just isn't enough good English referees. Explains we're no English refs at the World Cup, not good enough. Bring back Clive Thomas. Just fucking get Pierluigi Collina to referee every game of football ever. He should be the only referee that's allowed to referee. Just him, full stop, forever. Even if he's in a wheelchair, get him an electric wheelchair. Craig, I think when VAR comes in, the manager should only be given 3 times they can call on VAR. They don't have a choice, but it's got nothing to do with the managers, Dave. They have no say in this. VAR is there to clear up an obvious error, apparently. You'll see it for penalty decisions, you'll see it for fouls or red cards the referees missed, offside decisions obviously as well, and a couple of other bits and pieces. I'm scared for VAR, said Heme. Although the concept is great, we know how awful the officials are. VAR isn't to blame, it's how poorly it's used. Can you imagine Atkinson or Dean with it next season? What's this button do? Look at this one, this is a shiny button. Hey Craig, should the fans start welcoming the buses? No. No. My opinion, John, no, not yet, mate. Leave that to the last couple of games. You want to keep things as normal for the players as possible now. It's another game, lads. Go out and do your thing. Do exactly what you've done every other week. The crowd are behind you. No pressure on here. Ignore the media. Just go about your business. That's what I'd be saying if I was Jurgen Klopp. Jay Beckford said, we're the best league in the world, but we need to get the best referees in the world to referee in the Premier League. I'm a firm believer that refs should give media interviews to explain calls. It's never, as you said yourself there, Tom, mate, it's never going to happen. Do you know what? I agree with them not doing it. I think they should be held accountable, but I don't think that they should have to come out publicly and explain themselves. I think the representative of the Premier League should come out maybe and talk about these decisions. The head of referees, what's your man's name again? The guy that used to be I can't think of his name. I can't think of who the hell the head of the referees are. Excuse me guys, I just can't think of his name. Andre Mariner is also not bad most of the time, said John Hamilton. Mark Clattenburg was the guy that went off. Yeah, he was supposed to be the English representative for the World Cup. Is the London calling for LFC a title reference to the Clash? Of course it is, Sean Luke. It absolutely is, mate. Not that I'm a fan or anything, don't get me wrong, but you're spot on. It is a reference to the Clash. Howard Webb was an awful referee, said Ella. Not for United he wasn't. Fucking player of the season, season after season. Atkinson was a disgrace today. 2 ways, said Claire. They're all shite. They're all shite, said Claire. Jurgen Klopp's the normal one, Jose Mourinho was the special one, Mike Dean, Martin Atkinson, Bobby Madley and John Moss are all the shit ones, said Will. The refs like City and Pep, says Mohammed. I'm not somebody that buys into this whole conspiracy nonsense about referees liking or hating other team, or not liking or hating, no, having a want for another team to win the league. I don't believe that exists. I really don't. I do think referees go into specific games. Like I said, I swear to God that Martin Atkinson went to that game against Leicester saying, I'm not giving Liverpool jack shit here unless it's so blatantly obvious. And even at that, he didn't do it. I just thought he went into that game saying, I'm not bound down to the cop. I'm not going to be giving Mo Salah a little shitty penalty. If you're getting a penalty today, it's because somebody picks up the fucking ball and runs with it in the box in his hands. Other than that, you're not getting shit. And that's how I think he went into that game. So I think that exists in the Premier League. But I really don't believe in conspiracy theories and that, you know, there's some movement that doesn't want Liverpool to win the league. I don't believe in that one bit. I think any team can pull up instances where they were hard done by. We do it, other clubs do it, but they are shit. At the end of the day, they're shit. We missed Fabinho the last game in defence. When he came on as a sub, he was quite comfortable with the headers in the box. He did. He certainly made a difference when he came on. I don't worry about refs, nothing you can do. They're always going to be shit and make mistakes. They're human beings. No way they should be forced in front of a camera. I agree with that. Well, the camera part. Excuse me. We need an industrial work in East London tomorrow night. Genie and Hendo will play, as will Fabinho, I think. Pragmaverts. We need the clone Pierluigi Collina and The Rock to make some super referees. There you go. Pierre The Rock Collina. Bayern Munich could be without keeper Manuel Neuer due to a thumb injury. It doesn't matter, he'll be picking the ball out of net anyway. Whoever's in goal, Anthony, they'll be picking the ball out of the net. The sooner Fabinho goes to right back with Millie in the middle so we can deal with Fernandes. I'm fully expecting Milner to go to right back, but that's just from what I've read. Refs influence games. Yes, they absolutely do. But I don't think they go out to say, oh, I want Man City to win the league, I'm going to make sure that somebody gets a little dodgy penalty. I don't think that happens. On that, actually, I pulled up a little thing today. Well, we're talking about referees and stuff. The laughing stock that is the Manchester Evening News has ran a story with the headline, Liverpool FC fans have Man City's title race theory after Sergio Aguero handball goal. They went on to grab some screenshots of posts from Liverpool fans claiming there's a conspiracy against Liverpool. It's just more sensationalist fucking nonsense from that shambles of a newspaper. And it is a shambles. The Manchester Evening News, in my opinion, is a shambles of a newspaper. They're just trying to put pressure on. They're trying to be a mouthpiece, of course, for City. And they're just trying to say, oh, look at Liverpool fans, all salty. And yes, there was images of Liverpool fans saying that there was a conspiracy, because you're always going to get nut jobs. There's always a few of them. I was on moaning about the referee for a few instances. You're always going to get people like that. But to actually run a fucking headline in your newspaper trying to belittle football fans and say, oh, look at these fucking idiots over here. Look at these thick scousers. Let's laugh at them. Because that's basically what they're trying to do. So at least this time they're not inventing stuff, though. The journalists aren't just inventing shit like bricks, which we know they've got form for that one as well. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to pull up the specific because I don't want to get in trouble. But at least this time they were actually able to show stuff that really happened or posts that actually exist. Unlike other shit, because they've got form for it. The Manchester Evening News. Yeah, look, another newspaper that should just fucking shut up shop and fuck off, because you're a joke. Journalistically, you're a fucking joke of a newspaper. What have we got here, folks? What have we got? Craig, do you think Aguero was offside today's second goal? No, I don't, Dino. I don't. Certainly not something that jumped out at me, and I remember looking at no, I don't think he was offside. The shite Neville and Tyler spelled today in commentary was the only reason City won. Did you hear the bullshit they came out with? A slightly contentious goal. A fucking slightly contentious goal was the way they worded Sergio Aguero's third goal today on Sky Sports. A slightly contentious goal. Ass my arse. Are you doing a watch along for the game tomorrow? Said MYXR. I certainly am, pal. Half an hour before kickoff, we'll be starting. We'll be starting the show, so I hope you can join us for that one. Hope Liverpool beat City. They will. We'll win the fucking league. Fuck Manchester City and their plastic fans. Are you worried about Anderson against Milner? No, not half as much as they're going to be worried about Mo Salah, Bobby Firmino and Sadio Mane. I never worry about other teams. I only worry about us, Keane, with all due respect, pal. Other teams, they'll go and try their own game plan, but they've got to get past us first, and we're a better side, so I more worry about us performing than I worry about what other teams can possibly do to us. I fully believe the manager will have that one in hand. And respect to Felipe Anderson. As I said earlier on, Keane, he's a very, very good player. He's having a great season. 8 goals and 2 assists. Eating an apple at 11 PM waiting for WWE SmackDown, said Origi. Super Bowl tonight as well. I'll probably give it a watch in little bits and pieces, but I don't care enough about it to really watch. I read somewhere before, though, that the Super Bowl gets less worldwide views than Liverpool versus Manchester United games, which is strange. Debating whether to put toast on. Yes, mate. Always yes. Never. Don't second guess yourself. Get that toast on, mate. Loads of butter. Leon beat PSG. Seen that once the Fakir Peno for the winner, and they were good value for it. I thought Leon were excellent tonight. Last season we got one fucking penalty all season. Now Salah's a diver because he actually goes over when he gets kicked. I know it's mad, Claire, isn't it? Jurgen should get a copy delivered every day so he can let the boys view it. I don't think that's his managerial style, Graham. I think he's more concentrate on their own stuff. I fully believe that. He's trying to just get Liverpool to take every game as a normal game and go in, and you know what your job is, you know how you can perform, you know how well you can play. Just go and do it. And everything else will take care of itself as the season goes on. Me, I'd be a little bit different. I'd be full on. Look at these bastards. They're making a mockery of us. Nobody wants you to win nothing, lads. They all out there laughing at you, calling you a joke. That would be my style. But Jurgen Klopp is infinitely better at man management than me. I also never understand when Sky/BT get an ex-ref's opinion when there's a big decision. They hardly ever disagree with the ref. Yeah, I know. It's a fair show. I understand it in theory, and I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to give viewers a perspective on how the refs come to make these decisions and the thought process that goes through their mind. So from that side, I get it, I understand it. But you're right, they do very rarely, unless it's blatantly obvious, disagree with the referees. Particularly when you've got them coming on for the, not the ones that they pull up live during the game, the ones later on in the week where they bring somebody in to go through the decisions of the weekend, and a lot of the time they're just going, no, you got that one right, but borderline, fuck off. Wait till you hear this one about. I'm interested to hear what they talk about this weekend's decisions when they come on. Okay, some more comments. MEN or United paper, they're already irrelevant. They are, and they're going to go out of business hopefully soon enough. Even if we don't win the league, I don't care. I'm so proud of the boys and how we were able to get in front of the City team that's probably the best in the Premier League. Beautiful comment, Andrew. Obviously, mate, we all hope we win the Premier League, but you're right, we should be proud of this team and this group of players and this manager, and they've done excellently this season. They've cut the gap massively from what was 25 points or something last year. So yes, Andrew, very well said, mate. Rod said Atkinson is a corrupt cunt. City might be blackmailing him with pictures of him and Kevin Friend. That's just what Rod said. I'm only reading out comments here, people. Somebody asked, actually, AS Empire has put in the Discord link. Somebody asked for this yesterday and I always forget about it. So if anybody wants to join the Discord group there now, the link is in there in the chat right now. AS Empire has it. There's a couple of red dots around it so you can see it. So if you want to join, click on that link and go in and chat to people when we're offline. Some great reds in there. And Kev as well has put the Anfield Agenda Instagram account in. And Kev's just about to pass 5,000 followers for Anfield Agenda on the Instagram account. You're doing absolute bits there, Kev, mate. Well done. So yeah, go over and give us a follow on there as well. And Kev's shouting out anybody that asks on there as well. So everyone helping each other out, which is beautiful to see. It seems to be important game. What's this decisions every week where the refs get it wrong? Yes, consistently, mate, time and time again, Mr. El Flamo. Amazing how Sky advertised the Man City versus Everton game as the game City will go top of the league. Did they? I didn't see that, Neil. I honestly didn't see that, so I can't really comment. If they did, though, fuck them. I love the flexibility that this channel gives, by the way. And people often ask me, "Oh, would you do this? Would you ever consider doing that?" Or, and I keep saying no. I love what this channel gives me. This channel gives me the ability to say exactly what I think when I think it. Obviously, I have to stay within the law, and I can't say stuff that's slanderous. I can't say stuff that's just, you know, plain out intentionally wrong. But it allows me to say exactly what I think. I'm not beholden to anybody. If I have an opinion that I don't like something, I can say it. If I don't agree with the club on something, I can come out and say it openly and give my honest views. I'm not holding back because of anybody. I've no agenda. Nobody fucking pays us. We do what we want, when we want. We speak how we want, and we talk to people how we want. And I love it. And that's why I love the freedom of this channel. And that's why we don't currently have a sponsor. Because I want somebody to come on and understand that, yes, we will happily have a sponsor on board and we'll work really well with you and we'll try and implement your products, whatever, as much as we can. But we're going to say what the fuck we want, because that's never up for debate. That's never going to change on here. I understand this channel is not going to be for everybody. I think people will look at here and go, this mouthy fucker has too much to say. I don't like the language that he uses. And I understand and respect everybody's views on that. But it ain't going to change. So that's why I love it. I love what this does. I could have easily packed up a long time ago and taken various offers that I've had between radio, working for other podcasts, writing for other people. But it's never appealed to me because of you wonderful people. Like, look at this. Who wouldn't want to do this? Come on here every night and get to talk to amazing people from around the world about something that brings us all together, which is Liverpool Football Club. It's great. It inspires me every single day to try and learn something new, to think of how I give my views, to think of how I look up news and what I think you guys will like, and think of shows that I think you like down the line, or little segments that I think you like. And I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of you, and I feel like sometimes you go, "Oh, he's off on one here again. Look at him. Give him a minute. He'll be back in a minute. Let him rant. Go on, let him talk. He'll be back in a minute." I love that. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that people seem to like what we're doing, and that the channel is growing and we're heading towards 8,000 subscribers, and it's just brilliant. I absolutely love it. You guys have made a massive impact on my life. It's been unbelievable this season. I can't tell you how much it's benefited me, and on so many levels. Anyway, I love being over. Time to move on. Craig, can I be the mod who asks people to subscribe? Work away, pal. You work away. I mean, the more people trying to get people to subscribe, the better. 150 away though. On that note, we're 150 away. So if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. And congratulations, Kev. I see you said 5k there. Boom. Well done, mate. Instagram account hit 5,000. Twitter account on the way towards 30,000 or 30,000 followers on there as well. And on here, we're heading towards 8,000. So that's absolutely brilliant. Finally, a proper midfield again. That's what's going to give us the win, said Robert Ho. I think Salah is better marked this year, said Claire, and I agree with that. Looks like Mane is getting into form, and my favourite Bobby is not being in his best position but still rocks. That's what makes the team tick. Can LFC Gamer get a mod? No. No disrespect to him. We're stopping giving out mods. Said this ages ago, but there was a few people that I'd missed that I should have given them to, but at the moment we're just holding back. So no is the answer at the minute, I'm afraid, but I don't mean that to sound bad. If someone offered a swap of the Manchester Evening News for a bog roll, you'd say, what's the point? True. I'd rather wipe me arse with single ply. And look, another one. Liverpool are going to bottle it tomorrow, mate. If you're going to come on, Anto Kavanagh, and try and troll, mate, I mean, one, you've spelled two wrong twice, mate, twice. Two separate instances there, you've spelled two wrong. You can't even manage to string a fucking sentence together, and you think anyone's going to give a fuck about your opinion. Mate, come on. Seriously. With a name like Anto Kavanagh, I'm assuming you're Irish, and you're making a show of me, pal. You're making a show of our country here. I can decipher what you're trying to say. Liverpool are going to bottle it tomorrow, is what you're trying to say. Isn't it, Anto? But, again, like most other trolls, pal, can't string a fucking sentence together. It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence the type of people that become trolls. It really isn't. I'd love to go on an absolute rant and tear you to shreds, Anto, but you're already up against it as it is, pal, by the looks of it, so I'll let it go. Okay, what else we got? I love this channel, Craig, said Ella. Thank you, Ella. Really, thank you. Hey, Craig, it's the other half of your favourite twin, said Mr. Maynard. Yeah, but your name's not Tatiana. Can we call you Tatiana, Aidan? Would that be better, wouldn't it? Wink, wink. Love what you do, mate. So weird how I tend to agree with you at least 90% of what you say, which is great. But if we don't agree, that's okay as well. Yeah, but thank you. That's really kind of you. MYXR. It feels weird calling people by initials and stuff, but that's what you have as your name, so that's what I have to do. Even if we go 3-0 down to West Ham, we'll still win 4-3, said Sean Luke. That's the attitude, pal. This channel rocks, especially for the LFC extended family. We rule, said Claire. Yeah, we do. What's your lineup for West Ham? If you're watching a cool buddy, it's just here and the image beside me on the pitch. But if sometimes people are just listening, so I'll go through it again. I'm going to go with Alisson in goal tomorrow, pal. Right back, James Milner. Centre back pairing of Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk. For left back, obviously it's Andy Robertson. I've gone with a trio in midfield, and don't hold me down on formations here, but I've gone with Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson, and then the front three, obviously Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah. That's my team for tomorrow, and I've predicted a 3-0 win for the Reds. Remember to subscribe. We're currently at 7,850 odd subscribers, and we'd love to get to 8,000, said Origi. Thank you very much, pal. The AA Reds rants for the new short podcast. That's what I was thinking about, Anthony. That is so funny that you mentioned that. I said that to Connor just before we went on air. I was saying I need to do short content. I'm thinking of doing a rant, but not so much of a rant, but just something that's pissed me off that week. I'm thinking of recording shorter segments like that because I think they might be funny. I think they might get some trolling from opposition fans, which I enjoy a lot of the time. So yeah, maybe I'm trying to think of the name of it, but something with rants in it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Seems like only yesterday you were pushing 5,000. Well done, Craig. Thank Pat. It does, mate. It really does. It seems to have absolutely flown along. There was a period, it's weird, there's peaks and troughs. There's sometimes you go through a month and you'll pick up 2,000 subscribers, and then you go through another month and you might get 600 or 700. But it's fun. It's all fun, and not knowing what's going to happen. As soon as I hit start stream, not knowing how the thing is going to go is brilliant. It's scary and it's fun at the same time, and I really, really enjoy it. My dream signing for Liverpool would be Lionel Messi. I mean, yes, mate, I would happily have him. Love the channel, keep it up, good work, Craig, said Joanne Roberts. Thank you, Joanne. But as I keep saying, the channel only works because of what Connor does in the background, because of you amazing people that are in here every night giving us your thoughts. No thoughts, no comments, no channel. It's that simple. So it only works because you guys are so damn good. What else we got? Hendo needs to be sold, said Dan Games. Nah, sorry, mate. Bit harsh. On that one, see, my instinct there is to go fuck you when somebody says that, but I have to understand that not everybody rates every player, and he didn't come in and call Jordan Henderson a cunt. He came in and said Hendo needs to be sold, so maybe you just don't think he's good enough, and that's okay. But I don't think he will be, Dan, and is the honest answer. I think the manager really likes him. Who's top of the league, said Dave Sweeney. I think we are, pal. Do you know, I think we might just be. Can I get a whoop whoop? I have to be a bit quiet though. Lucas is going to sleep and I'm giving it a full whoop whoop. Full on Ric Flair here. Woo! Oh, I'd love to come in with a Ric Flair robe on one day. Long blonde locks flowing. With a big purple shiny wrestling robe. Get a big. That would be nice. That would be fun. I'd stick with Craig's team. Trusted lineups at C. Pressure's on to win. Let's see how we cope with it. A draw wouldn't surprise me. It's full on win, Jack. It's a full on win, pal. West Ham aren't great. We usually go down to London and get the job done. I'm usually fair when I give my guesses on things, and if I said Leicester, if it was away, would have really worried me. I thought we'd win at home, to be fair, but Leicester came and put in a very good performance and thoroughly deserved their draw. But West Ham are a bit of a shambles at the minute, with no Aronautovic as well. I can't see anything but a Liverpool win, Jack. If Arsenal ever play Liverpool, could you collaborate with Arsenal Fan TV? I would rather wipe my arse with sandpaper than do anything with that channel. No. People know my thoughts on Arsenal Fan TV. People know my thoughts on Double Initial. And I've nothing against most of the people that work at Arsenal Fan TV. I don't know Robbie. I don't know Claude. Don't know T.I. or Ty or whatever his name is. I don't know any of those. Don't know Troops. So I'm nothing against them. You know who I don't like. But as a channel, I don't like what they do. I don't like the way that they turn their own fans into a laughing stock. So there's absolutely no way. And the stuff they do with the Sun as well, by the way. That's still inexcusable from my point of view. So no is the short answer. Sorry Craig, I'm a Liverpool supporter 4 years. I'm nervous. As you said, it's always the hard way. Anto mate, it's alright pal. It's just, it's easy to be nervous. It's easy to assume the worst. I suppose you're protecting yourself when you do it. I understand it, pal. I used to be like that. But this year, I've decided, fuck it, let's go balls out. They've got themselves in this position, and they didn't get there by accident, so let's back them. And let's not get sucked into this negativity that other fans and the media are trying to pile on Liverpool. Let's keep backing them, let's keep enjoying it, and believe that these boys who've got themselves into this position, there's nothing to say why it should change. They're still the same players, still got the same manager. They're not overworked. They've been rotated enough. I mean, we've got players coming back from injury. There's no reason for us to feel it'll fall apart. And as I said, let's look at this again. If Manchester City only dropped 4 points in the last 13 games, which is 2 draws basically, if they drop 4 points, that means we can drop 8 points and still win the league. Again, it depends on what happens with Spurs, but yes, we can still drop 8 points and go win the league. That's grand. I mean, that's what? 2 losses and a draw, and we can still win the league out of 13 games if City drop. And they will drop some points. There's no way Man City are going to win 13 games. Not a hope. They look at them today. I didn't think they were that good. I thought when Arsenal were kind of in the game at the start, they looked a little bit, not rattled, but they're not that great. Somebody puts it up to City. I think United will beat City at Old Trafford. I have to be honest. I think they'll beat City. I think they'll beat them, and I think they'll pummel them. I think they'll just knock them into submission. I think they'll absolutely smother them. They'll be first to every ball, and they'll just outwork them. And I think they'll beat Manchester City. And I'm also worried about us going to Old Trafford, by the way. Not expecting an easy game there at all. Richard Williams said, "Hey Craig, predicting a Salah hat-trick tomorrow. Top man, Richard. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Be lovely. Couple of handballs in there as well. It'd be nice just to, you know, get the saltiness returned over. But yes, that would be class." What else have we got? All pundits say Hendo was the best player in the Palace game. He was very good. Well, he wasn't the best player, in my humble opinion, Chris. I thought Sadio was probably our best player, but Henderson put in a very, very good shift in a position he was unfamiliar with. Hendo's boss, why can't people see that, said Claire. Hoping Keita powers the midfield tomorrow, said Richard Williams. When Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back, someone going to get annoyed next season unless we go far in cups. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I cannot wait. Like you've said, Pragmaverts, I cannot wait for that dude to come back. And yeah, it's going to be a massive plus for us. And we won't see the best of him until next season, but it'll be great to have him back. Malone wants to know, Rams or Patriots, everybody? I'm going to go Rams because I'm fucking sick of the Patriots winning it. I don't know anything about American football, but I know that Tom Brady and the Patriots just win all the time, so I'm going to go for the LA Rams. But aren't the LA Rams owned by Kroenke? Is that right? Are they owned by Stan Kroenke? I mean, that would just make it extra shitty for Arsenal fans, so yeah. Let's go for the Rams. Let's have Kroenke's other franchise actually winning shit, so yeah, go Rams. I have a bet on the Super Bowl, by the way, just because I got a free £5 bet. So I stuck a fiver on the game to go to, what's it called? Overtime, is that what it's called? Yeah, 5. I got 10 to 1 on that. 10 or 11 to 1, actually. 11 to 1, sorry. If you're going to name someone, why Hendo up first when we can all think of a different 5 to be sold? He's a troll, Craig. Oh yeah, there's absolutely... I don't want to call the gentleman a troll. I don't know him. But I'm just sick of the Hendo hate in general. I mean, as you said, there's at least 5 players, but we need to move on ahead of him. Have you ever put someone in a figure 4 leg lock? Yes, I have. Of course I have. I grew up loving wrestling, D. I used to kick fuck out of my parents when I was 5 and 6 years of age. My parents were kind enough to let me try all these figure 4 leg locks and stuff out on them. Because I'm an only child, so I have no brothers or sisters. You watching the Super Bowl? Jack, I'm probably going to watch a bit of it, if I'm being honest. Definitely watching the halftime show. Who's in the halftime show this year? I mean, or who's in the halftime show? It hasn't been the same since there's no tits getting popped out. So this has to be the same. Who is doing the halftime show? Can somebody let me know that? Henderson is average. He's not average. I mean, let's get that straight for the start. You're talking about a player that's rated by Kenny Dalglish, that's rated by Steven Gerrard, that's rated by Jurgen Klopp, that's rated by Brendan Rodgers, that's rated by the England manager. All these people know the game infinitely better than we do, and they rate Jordan Henderson. So to call him average is a massive insult. Aronovich might be ready to play. I doubt that. I'd be amazed if he's fit to play that game tomorrow. And if he does, he'll probably go off after 10 minutes injured. So, yeah, look, I'd be amazed. I've read nothing that said he's going to be ready to play. See, if I'm their manager, I look at this and go, yeah, look, I'm not risking him. We've got games that I actually think we might be able to win coming up, so I'd probably rest him for that. I think Glover might get a chance for this game. He's not fit, Evan, so he won't be playing. He's out with a hamstring injury. Himself, Gomez and Trent aren't available. I put Tatiana in the walls of Jericho. Did she tap though? That's the important question here. Adrian, did he tap or did she tap? The walls of Jericho. That brings me back. Stone Cold Stunner is the only way to go, by the way. I'm sorry. It has to be a stunner. Maroon 5. Ah, no. I used to like Maroon 5 until the World Cup when they did that fucking Hyundai ad. And I was so sick of that ad by the end of the World Cup that I got a pain in my arse with Maroon 5. Did anybody else get that in the summer, by the way? It's... yeah, it's... fuck that ad. Oh, that they ruined Three Little Birds for me. Jose and the Bus Brigade is the halftime show. Wheel him on and just sit him there going, three Premier Leagues, 3, respect. I mean, I'm looking through the comments here, and so far I've heard about 9 different people doing the halftime show. Big Boy, Ghostface Killer. What else have we had here? Travis Scott, Maroon 5, WWE halftime show. There you go. All Arsenal fans are hoping for the Rams to lose and want Kroenke to cry. Probably. That's probably spot on. Is it Abdirahman? Is that correct? I hope I've pronounced that one correctly, mate. SpongeBob SquarePants would be the best fucking halftime show ever. Recessionizer. Imagine that. What is it? 80, 100,000 people born. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. And then somebody comes out, like John Cena comes running out and goes, "Who lives on a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants." That'd be fucking amazing. That'd be a halftime show. People all around the world would be going, what the fuck is going on here? Your rant video should be called Nutmeg with Craig. I don't get that. I know what you mean by nutmeg, like as in the footballing term, but I don't get why that would translate to a rant. That doesn't... that's gone over my head, mate, as Connor always reminds me that I say. So I haven't said it in a while. Stone Cold's intro music was class. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Love Stone Cold. Beers coming in. Budweiser's getting thrown in from everywhere. Oh, love Stone Cold, my favourite wrestler of all time, without a shadow of a doubt. Of course, you gotta love The Rock as well. You gotta love The Rock. If we do play a 4-3-3, then I think Keita should play. Does really well between the lines and he's a creative player. Played well at 4-3-3 at the start of the season. Said Ishak. Thank you very much for that comment, pal. She did tap. Adrian, there you go. I thought she might have. Where would you strengthen in the summer, or would you get squad depth? Asked Ricky Hickman. I would add a centre back because I would move on both Joel Matip and Dejan Lovren. I would bring in a forward in the form of Timo Werner. I would love a creative player to play in the hole and a utility player to play, as cover on either side of full back, mate. I don't think we really need to add squad depth. I think the young players can supplement us quite well in that regard. But 2 or 3 bits of quality every summer, along with a player moving on. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, for instance, with James Milner this summer. So, yeah, just a couple of bits of quality, buddy, will probably be the way. Hendo is great. He does exactly what Klopp tells him to, and managers love that. I see fans hate him all the time. Look, is Jordan Henderson the best midfielder in the Premier League? No. Is he the worst? No. Jordan Henderson is a good, solid, professional footballer, and he does, as Dave has pointed out, what is asked of him by the manager. He's not an explosive midfielder anymore that plays box to box. He's been kind of taught to play in the 6, and playing in the 6 for somebody like Hendo was taking a lot of getting used to. Fabinho come in, he played that position blindfolded because it's his natural position. So I think sometimes we don't quite understand how much Jordan Henderson has been asked to do. And yes, has he been a little bit negative at times? I would agree, yeah, he has. I don't buy into this whole passing sideways and backward nonsense, but I've said on a couple of occasions, I feel that when he receives the ball, his instinct sometimes is to immediately play it back rather than look over his shoulder and see if he can turn into the space. There are a few things I don't like about Henderson, but he's a very good footballer. Gary Glitter, Jimmy Savile. I mean, there's some halftime shows right there. Bring out the kids! Bring out the kids! Oh, a little bit low there, Craig. A little bit too much. Do you think Felipe Anderson will cause trouble tomorrow if he's up against Milner? Again, I'll say what I said earlier on, Jack. He's a very good player, but I tend to not worry about other players. I'd more worry about us causing them trouble. That's much more fun to think about. Jurgen Klopp is the second best manager in the Premier League behind Pep. He's the best manager in the Premier League behind nobody. Stone Cold Stunner, Jim Ross. Oh, Jim Ross. Did Jim Ross pass away? Or did I get that one wrong? No, it was me and Gene Okerlund that passed away, wasn't it? Oh, it was Jim Ross's wife, unfortunately, passed away, didn't she, this year? Or recently? Harry Kane is the game and he's going for New England to win. I wonder why. Who would you be in your Liverpool 11? Who would be in my Liverpool 11 with wrestlers? Oof, Jesus. I don't think we can go through it all, but let's pull out a few. So, who would I have my Liverpool? Oh, you gotta have Rey Mysterio. He'd be your, like, in the 10. He'd be your David Silva type player, wouldn't he? So we'll have Rey Mysterio. Who would we have in midfield doing bits, just taking people out left, right and centre? Chris Jericho, because he's a little shit, wasn't he? So we'll have Chris Jericho in there. You need your superstar, so I mean, you got to go classy, you got to go with The Rock. So we'll have The Rock in midfield as well. Who would we have up front? Who would we have as our sexy striker? I don't know, I'll think about that. Centre back pairing, it's either going to be the Dudley boys or the Bushwhackers. Either one of those two would be the centre backs. Let me see. I'll think of a striker in a minute, but I think I've given you a few answers there. Klopp's a better manager with the available money, said Claire. And look, no disrespect to Pep Guardiola. As I said, Pep Guardiola is a very, very good manager. I think we should sign Pereiro from Valencia, great midfielder, criminally underrated, said Origi. Henderson and Jorginho do the same kind of thing, but Jorginho's class because he's Italian. How many assists has he got this season, Jorginho, actually? You know, that superstar footballer that plays 8,000 passes a game. How many assists has he got? Last, it was none, but I think he might have got one recently. Harry Wilson next season, his free kick technique is beautiful. I watched the Derby game the other day and he hit the crossbar and the post. His technique with that left peg is just unbelievable. The way he can cut across the ball to make it swerve away, and he can control the ball with that left peg is beautiful. Do a stream for the Super Bowl. I was thinking of doing one earlier on, Kickby, an Irish idiot's guide to the Super Bowl, but nah, I don't think I'd enjoy it enough, to be honest. Right guys, 10 minutes left on tonight's stream, so anything anybody wants to ask or get in, still a little bit of time. And as I said, if you haven't subscribed, please take a minute to do that as well. Syncing wise tonight, has everything been okay? Have I been in sync for everybody, or has the audio been okay? I'm always trying to work on that to make sure it's okay. The Big Show in goal. There you go. Ric Flair on the wing. How could we forget about Ric Flair? It's a good show. Brock Lesnar as a defender. Brock Lesnar's a fucking tough man, isn't he? Still can't think of my striker. We need a striker, guys, for this team. Audio's been okay. It's like, cool, thank you very much, pal. Last time I watched wrestling, Hulk Hogan was the best. Is he still fighting? I think he is. Do you know? I think he fucking is. I don't know where he is. I think he's still involved. Randy Orton, he's a shit, isn't he? Yeah, I do. I like Randy Orton. All these voices in my head. Yeah, I like Randy Orton. I do, I have to say. You look at him and you just think, you evil little shit. Randy Orton's a show. We're going with Randy Orton, Steve. That's a great show. Randy Orton up top. What happened to the camera only allowing 20 minutes? We switched cameras, natural opinion. We went back to the old webcam. So the reason we don't have to take those breaks now is because we've put the DSLR camera to the side for a minute, and we're going to use that to film shorter content until we can figure a workaround. So you don't need to take the breaks because we're using the webcam. It's a very good webcam, as I said before, probably the best you can buy, but still doesn't give you the same crispness as you'd get from like a DSLR camera. And for those asking, because people often do, the webcam that I use is a Logitech Brio. It's B-R-I-O. It's about $200, give or take. I don't know, it might be cheaper now. You could get it on sale or something. Larry Leach said, just wanted to get in a hi Craig, audio great, thank you Larry. I'm not sure if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl later, Larry, but if you are, enjoy. And hello to everybody in Calgary. Jeff Hardy as a striker. What about Matt? Why no love for Matt? I did like the Hardy Boys though. Probably the best, one of the best, if not the best tag team I've ever seen in wrestling. About Werner for a forward. I would love Timo Werner, Eric Hughes. I would absolutely love him, mate. He's the ideal guy for our system, and I hope we get him in the summer. Triple H as a striker. I never liked Triple H. He always seemed like a bit of a lick arse to Vince. Obviously, isn't he married to Stephanie? He is married to Stephanie, isn't he? Didn't he used to go out with China as well? God rest her soul. The Taker and Van Dyke. Big Show in goal, yes. Didn't realise we had so many wrestling fans. I think we're all closet wrestling fans really, aren't we? We all had a stage in our lives where we loved wrestling. Is Sterling worth 50 million they paid for him? I would have to say yes, mate. I think Sterling has certainly been worth 50 million for Manchester City in my opinion. I think they might have paid a bit too much at the time, but in today's market it seems like a good buy for them. He can't finish that well, but he still does very, very good things for them. Yeah, he's a good player, Raheem Sterling. I'll be listening tomorrow with a cup of tea and a Jaffa cake. You scumbag. You absolute scumbag, Dave. With all love and respect though, I just don't like Jaffa cakes, pal. They're just the shittiest of biscuits. You can't even tell where those motherfuckers are stale like. Oh, Jaffa cakes, no, there's just all kinds of wrong. I read today McGregor to have it again in the UFC. Interesting. Sterling's worth 150 now, and yeah, I would say he probably is. Brian, you're right. I mean, his numbers are fantastic for Manchester City. WrestleMania stream, nah, I'm past it. See, I'm just past wrestling. But do you know what though? I'd say it would do massive numbers. I'd say if we start doing wrestling stuff, it would do really well because there's a massive market out there for it. I hate every wrestling related words. I have every wrestling related word muted on Twitter, said Connor. And he does. I remember you telling me that a while ago. Actually, a good while ago. I think you've had that done for ages. A guy called Adam from Football Terrace said Leno was top 2 in the Premier League. Your thoughts? My thoughts are that Adam is very, very wrong, Tony. Very, very wrong. Leno is he's probably top 2 at Arsenal, but in the Premier League he's not even top 5. Not a hope. My sister forgave Sterling. She still absolutely loves him. I had such high hopes for him. I had a signed Sterling jersey at the time, and I got a sniff that he might be moving on, so I flogged it and got my money back. But yeah, I had such high hopes from Liverpool. Did you know that The Rock played Canadian football with the Calgary Stampede? I actually did, Larry. Strangely enough, I did. I didn't know what team it was, but I did know he played in Canada. So there you go. But The Rock, The Rock. Oh, I wish I could do that eyebrow thing. I absolutely love The Rock. Aldo and McGregor. From what I heard, it was going to be McGregor coming back to fight Dustin Poirier, and the winner of that fight's the winner of fucking Khabib against Tony Ferguson. That's what I heard, Jose. That's what I'd read. Worried for tomorrow, asks Paul. Not at all, Paul. Really confident ahead of tomorrow's game. We usually do well against West Ham down in London, so yeah, no worries here. I might be a little bit more nervous as the game approaches, just naturally, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing different to any other game. I don't buy into all this nonsense around the title run in. I'm not letting it get to me, man. This team got to where they got to because they're damn fucking good, so I'm not letting the media influence my thoughts. Liverpool go tomorrow. I'm fully convinced we'll get the 3 points against West Ham, and then it's back over to Manchester City to play Everton. He's called Alisson Fat Becker. He called Alisson Fat Becker. Why does anybody watch that Football Terrace? Because all I ever hear is people complaining about it. I've never seen a minute of it. I didn't even know who the fuck they were until somebody told me. But they all sound like idiots, from what I'm hearing from other people. And of course, as I said, I've never seen them. So anything I say is obviously not based on what I've watched. But I can see people coming in saying, Terry said this, Adam said this. Why watch if they're such gobshites? I don't get it. I mean, I'm a gobshite and people watch here, so maybe. Sterling lacks the clinical finishing. Once he gets that, he'd be 150 grand or 150 million player. Yes, he does lack that finishing, but he has everything else pretty much. We'll win tomorrow. If I didn't ban myself off Sky Bet, I'd put 50 on it, said Jose. And Origi said, remember everyone, before the end of the stream, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're looking to hit 8,000 subscribers. He says before the end of February, but I'm saying before the end of tomorrow night. I think we might do it on the match tomorrow, mate, if I'm being honest. We'll get close. So if you're watching, you haven't subscribed and you have a minute, love it if you could do it. What else have we got? Craig, what games do you think Man City could slip up on? The United game. I think they drop points there, whether it's a draw or a loss, and there'll be one stupid one somewhere along the way, and we'll probably have one as well. But just to remind everyone, as I said earlier on, if Manchester City, if we can assume that Manchester City will drop 4 points from the last 13 games, that allows us to drop 8 and still win the league. 2 losses and a draw, and we can still win the league from 13 games if we win tomorrow. So don't buy into this shit. Piatek is doing very well, Louis, for AC Milan. Scored there tonight, the opening goal in the game against Roma, and 2 the other night. So yeah, you certainly hit the ground running. I got a photo with Caroline Wozniacki. Nice, nice. Not only is she hot, but she's a Liverpool supporter. Absolutely. Wonderful tennis player. And a red, as you said, so nice one. Well done on the photo. McGregor's banned from 6 months for the UFC. Yes, but it's backdated, John. So he's banned from the last fight. So I think he's only got 2 months to go until his ban lifts. And then, what's his face? Khabib got a 9-month ban. So he's got to wait a little bit longer. Terrace Trent Derby. Sign your name across my heart. I used to love Terrace and Derby. Although my dad told me once, my dad used to manage the door in a nightclub, and he told me Terence Trent D'Arby came in and he was a real arsehole. So maybe he was having a bad day. Seen the nice Adidas concept kit in social media earlier based on one of the older ones. Oh, I've seen so many of them, and I'm guessing it's probably the same guy. Is it something like Star or something like that? There is somebody who does brilliant kits. Right, what have we got? Come on, Rams, said Kirby Power. Higuain to score a hat-trick versus Man City. Yes, please. I mean, if there's one game I want fucking Hazard to show up for, it's that game against Manchester City. If Hazard can actually show what he's made of for that game, that would be great. But as I said all along, I'm not worrying about Manchester City's performances. I want us to concentrate on Liverpool. It's in our hands. We have the control. If we keep winning, everybody else will keep losing their fucking heads because they can't catch us. It's up to us. Guys, let's call that a night. So if you're going to go watch the Super Bowl, enjoy it. I don't know if you're rooting for the Rams, if you're rooting for the Patriots, whoever you're rooting for. I hope you have a great night. As I said, we will be back tomorrow. It was an 8 o'clock kickoff, wasn't it? Just to confirm, I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be starting from 7:30 with the watch along for tomorrow night's show. It'll be a good night for the Reds, I hope. Fingers crossed. But either way, it'll be a bit of fun. So look, if you can join us for that one, we'll be starting at 7:30. Just to reiterate, no match coverage whatsoever, because we don't break the rules on here. It'll just be some alternative commentary, some reaction to what's going on. I'll be reading your comments in the chat. We'll be having some fun and hopefully cheering the Reds on to another massive 3 points in the Premier League. Thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. Thank you to those of you that haven't yet subscribed, but are going to do so soon. And everyone that's been in the stream tonight. Love to each and every one of you. Look after yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow night. Big game coming up for the Reds. Get some sleep because it's going to be emotional. Up the motherfucking Reds.